Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Vietnam. First of all, I would like to thank AITAA for organizing this workshop and allow me to present the topic Challenger for Sustainable Development in the Mekong River Delta, Climate Change, Water Resources, and Food Security. This is an issue that the Mekong people must pay attention, and also it is a great challenge in the context of the increased demand for more food, while the water resources on the region are degrading and facing many risks of the climate change, as well as the new disease as the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I would like to present 4 parts as the content is screen. First, status of the agricultural farming in the Mekong Delta. Second, agricultural innovation policy in Vietnam. The third, some applicable smart agricultural innovation idea. And the fourth, discussion. As we all know, the traditional agricultural production in any countries is highly dependent on the climate condition and water resources. In our lower Mekong region, there are only 2 seasons, the rainy season and the dry season. The rainy season lasts 5 months from May or October, and the dry season is the last of the remaining 7 months of the years. The main feature that in the rainy season are also the flood season, and we found that the average discharge of the Mekong River during the flood season is very large, about 39,000 cubic meters per second. While in the dry season, the water is low and a saline intrusion from the sea coming into the 1/3 of the delta area. And we also found that in the dry season, the flow from the upstream to the delta dropped dramatically to 2,500 cubic meters per second in average. In the Mekong Delta in Vietnam, we consider as the biggest agricultural aquaculture production in Vietnam. Almost the water from the Lan Mekong Basin come to the Mekong Delta before entering the East Sea. The Delta had 2.4 million hectares of the agricultural land, over 4 million hectares of the total area. Every year, the Delta supply more than 53% of the natural stock rice and crop food, about 80% of the total fish production, and 75% of the food for domestic use and export to another countries in the world. In the Mekong Delta, as I said, is a biggest agricultural and aquaculture cultivation of the Vietnam. These are the map of the rice and shrimp cultivation in the Mekong Delta based on the data since 2005-2010. In the left-hand side, you can see the map of the rice land in cultivation in the almost the province in the Mekong Delta. While in the shrimp cultivation, mainly in the coastal area of the Mekong Delta. Due to the saline intrusion, about 1/3 of the area are affected by the saline intrusion. It affects to the coastal area mainly. In the rice production in the Mekong Delta, the use and rice production in the Mekong Delta increased from year to year. Every year, the many scientists try to apply, modify the variety, better farming technology, combined with the building some irrigation system and increase the number of dry crop use and the rice production of rice increased continuously. In the year 2013, we produced nearly 25 tons of the rice and export about 6.4 million tons of the meal rice in the world to the world, and the total export value nearly $3 billion US. The Mekong Delta is very low and flat, and the average elevation is about 0.8 to 1.2 above the meter above the mean sea level, and the delta more than 750 kilometers in the coastal line, and so it is easy to affect by climate change and sea level rise, as well as the water boundary issue. There's many scientific evidence that the air temperature and the solar radiation have increased over the past 10 years. Abnormal rainfall are more and more. In the early of the rainy season, the tendency of the rain to decrease. But in the end of the rainy season, the rainfall increase highly. The drought and short water intrusion in the rice season increase, while the delta is at risk of the sinking due to the lack of the sediment, and the local people have attracts a lot of groundwater for their water supply, and amount of sediment flow to the Mekong stream reduced more than 50% if compared to the many years before. This is the problem, the big problem of the Mekong Delta in present time. Now, I would like to say something about the agricultural innovation policy in Vietnam. In short, the Mekong Delta is facing three major challenges: climate change and sea level rise in global scale. The development of the hydropower dam in upstream of the Mekong River at a regional scale, and both the climate change and hydropower development are considered as the two external effects to the Mekong Delta. Concerning the internal impact, we also found that there's many land use change in the Mekong Delta due to the agricultural development, urbanization, industrialization, and all the land use change, leading the delta degradation as a result of the internal impact. So, in present, the government of Vietnam had decided to change the food policy to reduce the rice production area and increase aquaculture production and increase the area of the fruit trees and other vegetable crop. The Vietnam government released Resolution 120 on sustainable and climate relation development of the Mekong Delta. We say in short as Resolution 120. This resolution including the vision to the end of the century to the year 2010, 100, up still by the 2050, and we can find some viewpoint strategies, orientation, and overall solution. In the solution 120, we can find four main guiding viewpoints. First, strict sustainable development priorities based on the active adaptation, utilization of the potential and strength, transform challenger into opportunity for development. Second, change development tools shift from the most agricultural production of the mainly rice to development of the diversified agricultural industries to meet the market demand, shift from the quantity-based to the quality-based development. The third, respect natural laws and practical conditions, avoid violence, interfering in the nature. Select the model of the natural-based adaptation, environmental sound and sustainable development on the basis of the actively living with flood, package, and salt water. And the fourth, sustainable development of the Mekong Delta is one of the interests of the nation. The greater Mekong subdivision and international community and all the people, and counts mobilized on the social classes, international partner, and enterprise be involved in the development process. Many years before, we follow the traditional agriculture in mainly farmer in the Mekong Delta. They use a lot of the natural resources, mainly in land and water. They pay high production cost, but receive a lot agricultural value. In the farmer, we use a lot of the rural labor. And due to the use of the lot of chemical fertilizer, leading the environmental pollution, and we facing many risks and sustainable on the water resources, climate change, and a competitive market. Now we want to change to smart agricultural production by applying saving natural resources utilities. We try to reduce production cost and try to increase agricultural value. We thinking about how to upgrade the rural labor and protect environment. Everything should be put in sustainable development, not only in water resources, climate change, but also in the competitive market. But when we come to the traditional, to the smart agricultural production, the main question is, what should we do? Thinking about the smart agricultural innovation, we should thinking what model do we expect to have as an applicable smart agricultural innovation for the Mekong Delta. And on the people, not only the farmer, but also the scientific and policy maker should thinking about it. Now, I would like to say something about our idea about the applicable smart agricultural innovation. The model and smart agricultural innovation require a combination of the different parties. That's the farmer and agricultural sector cannot solve by them. There's a need for coordination and mutual support with the farmer in mind. And there's need to be link between the government, between the scientists, the business, donor, credit banker, and including the media sector. Parallel, research institute and the university are linkage center among the research and transferring the applicable of the science and technology progression to the farming community. For higher technology, the application remote sensing, GIS, blockchain, remote monitoring, and the solution for greenhouse gas emission, control the pollution, can make the agricultural subsidy and more sustainable. Now we have some discussion. We found that the transforming the traditional agricultural production that focus the higher output to the new model agricultural farming system with the high economic value indeed realities that rise in the Mekong Delta today. In the Mekong Delta, we found many smart initiatives being applied in agriculture and aquaculture production in order to increase the production efficiency and to meet the market demand. We had many models about this. However, smart agricultural innovation ideas are still in the testing scale or pilot project, and applications stay at a small and inconsistent local scale. We think that it is necessary to have a multi-stakeholder linkage from the government policy, scientific and education forum, business sector, financial institution, and all the support from all the social organization to gradually rising the rural development and the farmer to get the new smart agricultural initiative into the practical field in sustainable way. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, I'm willing to discuss with you. Thank you very much.